Hey everybody. So I went to the Denver Aquarium today, and I have to tell you about a little quest that I ended up going on. Anyone who's played the World of Warcraft Oktoberfest event, do you remember how ridiculous the Wopeltinger quest was? Well, it was very much like that. So, when I first got to the Denver Aquarium, I saw this really interesting mug. Had a shark head on it and a little, snack cup at the bottom of the drink. And I was like, well, I want to get one of those. So, going through the whole aquarium, doing the whole checking out the fish and enjoying that rather thoroughly. Get to the end, and that's where you get your pictures done. That's what we're taking at the beginning. And so I saw the shark things over at this in-house Starbucks. So I go over there, and it's closed. It says closes at 6, and it's 5:47. So I'm like, okay. So I turn to a couple of employees that are standing right there. I'm like, hey guys, how do I get one of these cups? And they're like, I don't know. You go around the corner and talk to the Stingray girl. I'm like, okay. There's like a little kiosk, and then like right around the corner, there's like this Stingray petting tank, and there's like a spot where you can buy shrimp and stuff to feed them. And so I go around the corner, and where the little spot where you can buy the shrimp is has a sign that says on break from 6 to 6:20. And at this point it's like 5:50. And I'm just like, okay, what even? So I go back to the guys, and I'm like, hey guys, she's not over there. She's on break in 7 minutes. And they're like, they look at me weird, and I'm like, how much even is it, guys? And they're like, oh, I think it's like $50. Ha 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 ha. I just stare blankly. Anyway, so eventually he goes over to Stingray Girl, because she's actually at the aquarium still, the little feeding place. And he asks her, and I can overhear them, and she's like, oh, well, I'm not going back over there right now. And he's like, oh, okay, well, this guy wants to buy one. And she's like, I'm not doing that. I'm on break. And he comes back, and he's like, you go down the stairs here, and there's a restaurant down there. You can get one down there. And I'm like, okay. I proceed to do a few more things because, I'm 5 at times. So there's the little penny squisher thing. I have to do that. And I leave a couple of quarters and pennies for, kids coming up or adults, whoever. Go down to the restaurant. I stand in line. There's a couple people in front of me. They're waiting for a table of 6. They're waiting for a table of 9. It's like lots of busy at that restaurant. So I finally get up to the table, the desk, and the woman's like, do you have a reservation? I'm like, actually, I was just hoping to get one of these shark cups. And she's like, oh, well, go over to the souvenir shop. So go over to the souvenir shop. If she should have some in the back. If she doesn't, come back here and I'll help you out. I'm like, okay. In my head, I'm like, why don't you just help me out now? So I go over to the souvenir shop. There's 2 sets of people in front of me. There's one woman with 3 kids, and the kids are just running around, and they're throwing more stuff up on the desk, and it's like, we want this, and she's like, no, put that back. And the kids are like, I want this, and I was like, well, you only have $5. And it was kind of crazy. These kids kept running around. She's like, all right, we're leaving. So she slams $20 down. The woman takes the money, and they check out. The woman ahead of me, she goes, and her kid, he has this little squishy octopus thing that he wants to get. And he puts it down, and they start registering, checking out. And the kid just wanders off. And the mom is rooting through her purse, and she gets out money, and then she needs to get change, and she's just digging around in her purse for a really, really, really long time. And then she notices that her kid is just missing. The kid's going around the corner and is actually behind the gift shop desk. And so she's yelling at the kid, get over here. And he's like, how's the thing? She's like, I don't care, get over here. And in my head, I'm chuckling, but I'm not laughing out loud because that would also be rude or whatever. So eventually the kid comes over, and they settle up, and they go. And I'm like, someone's like, what would you like? What are you purchasing? I'm like, actually, I'd really just like one of these shark cups, please, and thank you. And she just kind of gives me one of these. And I'm like, the woman at the restaurant said they were in the back. She's like, we don't have them here. And I'm like, she said they were in the back. I'm I don't know. And she's like, we don't have them though. And I'm like, okay. So I start walking off, and like, I'm already around the table. And she's like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, okay. I go back over to the desk. And the woman who originally said to, come back if they didn't have them, she's on the phone. And so I'm standing there for a few minutes, and then this cute blonde walks up, and she's like, how may I help you? Do you have a reservation? I'm like, no, I was just hoping to get one of these shark cups. And she's like, oh, let me go get you a server. I'm like, great. So then this nice woman comes up to me, and she's like, I heard you wanted a shark cup? And I'm like, yes, please, thank you. She's like, okay, did you want anything in it? I'm like, would love some Dr. Pepper. Do you have Dr. Pepper? Not sponsored. And she's like, oh, of course, hon, I got Dr. Pepper. So I sit down. She comes back a couple minutes later, and here we go. Here is this ridiculous quest reward and a shark toy inside. It's their mascot. So, and apparently events are starting to happen here now, so I should wrap this up.